Hi everyone, you're watching the Advanced Canva series. If you're not familiar with Canva, watch our Canva Crash Course series where you'll be able to go through and learn how to create a free account and learn the basics of Canva and what it can do. If you're already familiar with Canva, then let's get started. In this video, we're going to make a newsletter for your business using Canva's templates and design elements. To start, let's see what Canva has in the way of templated layouts. We'll go up to the search bar and type in email newsletter and hit enter. They've got quite an array of different kinds. Keep in mind at the bottom left of each thumbnail, there's a free icon or a paid icon. The paid ones usually include photos that you'll need to purchase the license for, but if you like the design and have your own images, these are still options you can use. For ease of use, I'm going to select one of the free versions for this video. The first step to choosing a layout for your newsletter is to choose a layout that is both eye-catching and makes sense for the content that you want to include in the newsletter. If you're showcasing new products that are about to be released, or if you're showing something, whether it's a product or service or another aspect of your business, you'll want to find a layout with more images than text. If you're explaining something, then you'll want a layout that allows for more text than images. And if you're doing both, then you'll want to find a newsletter layout that allows for a good amount of both text and images. Let's say that we want to both show and explain, so we want to find a layout that allows for both text and images. We'll look through the templates, and this one has mainly images, whereas this one has only one image and more text. This one, however, has a pretty good combo of both. There's a couple images at the top that take up most of the area, and then there's an area at the bottom for text. So we'll click on this one and start designing. When this opens, you'll notice a few things. The first is that this newsletter is 2 pages. It also has a header and a small table of contents. Every newsletter is different, and depending on what content you want to include can determine what you have or don't have. Not every newsletter needs to have a volume and an issue number, but it's not a bad idea either. If you plan on continuing newsletters for a while, including a volume and issue number might be helpful to organize your completed newsletters. This could also make it easier to look up what content you might have talked about in the past, and it can also make it easier for customers to find past newsletters. Including a table of contents is also beneficial because it gives your audience an overview of what's included in the newsletter. If they've been waiting for a new product or service of yours, then they'll be able to easily find the page that it's on and not have to scour the entire newsletter looking for what they want. So now that we've gone over a bit of information about newsletters, let's start making this our own. Right now we have 2 pages for our newsletter. If you don't have that much information, you can always delete a page. Or if you have more information, you can add a page as well. By clicking on the Add Page button here and here, this will give you a new blank page. If you want to use the same template as one of the pages from the template you chose, you can either click Duplicate Page, or you can create a blank page and then click on one of the thumbnails in the template section. You can also combine different templates and change the coloring on them to match what you already have. For example, I really like the first page of this one, but not so much the second page. If I want to, I can search a different template for a different second page. Let's say I really like the second page of this one. I can click on it and then add a new blank page, and then click on this second page from the template to add it. So now I've got a new page, but it doesn't really go. Well, one of the nice things about Canva is that it tells you what elements you already have in your document. If I select this text and then click on the text styles up here to bring up the drop-down menu, it tells me all the different style texts that are in this document here at the top. There's a couple here, and just to make sure I know which style texts go with what template, I'll go down here and click on this text. This one is I am Fel. If we go to our other page and click on the text up here, we'll see that we need Libra Baskerville, and it needs to be 26.5 in size, bolded, and uppercase. So now that we've found what we need, we'll go back down to this text and select it. We'll click on the text to bring down the selections, and we'll select Libra Baskerville from our top selection here. We'll also make sure that it's 26.5 in size, bolded, and we'll click on this button here to change it to uppercase. You can do the same process to change the rest of the text on the page, and you can go through and delete any elements that don't match. Now that we've gone over how to change elements in your document, let's personalize this a little bit more. Any newsletter should use 2 to 4 colors. These can be whatever you want, although I suggest using colors that fit your brand, such as colors on your website, your logo, or anywhere else that you've already established a color scheme. I also suggest that you have 1 base color and 1 to 3 accent colors to keep it simple and clean. Any more than that, and your newsletter can start to look too busy and cluttered. The base color should be neutral and easy to read text on, since it's usually the color of your background. White, black, and shades of gray work really well. Then you'll choose 2 accent colors. If you already have 2 or more colors established, such as through your logo or website, use those. If you have any photos in your newsletter, you can also choose accent colors from there to complement your photos. In this template, the pictures used here have lots of neutral tones in them, including brown. So that was the accent color they used for their text and other elements in their newsletter. Even browsing through some of the thumbnails of the templates, you'll see that they have certain colors that are being used as accent colors to help catch the viewer's eye and make the newsletter pop. Now, before we choose some colors, let's change these photos out. I like the idea of it being a clothing store, but let's choose different images so we can play with a different color scheme. We'll go over to the Photos tab and search for clothing and see what comes up. So we see all of our options here. We'll make sure to look for free photos. And now let's figure out where we want to put them. I like this photo here, and I want to put it in the Table of Contents section. So I'll go over to my artboard. I'll select the photo that I want to switch out. And you can tell because it has a solid blue box around it. And once that's selected, I'll hit delete on my keyboard. You can see that this design used a frame from the element section here. So now what we can do is go back to our photo section, find the photo we want to use, and then click and drag to put it into the frame that's already been established for us. So let's go ahead and delete the other 2 photos here in the table of contents and add some different photos in. And if you have your own photos, you can upload them here through this tab and then drag and drop just as you would with the free stock photos that we just found. So let's go through and add in some more photos for the rest of the newsletter. We'll go ahead and change all of them. Alright, so we've added the rest of the photos, and I've picked some that go together color-wise so I can start choosing my theme. If you already have a color scheme picked out, you'll want to make sure that your photos have either those colors in it, or at least have colors that go well with it. In my case, my photos have a pink color in them somewhere, except for my top photo, but I'm not too worried about it since it's covered mostly by this block element here. If I wanted to, I could just make this block another solid color instead of a photo, but we'll go ahead and keep the photo in for now. Looking at my photos, I have a pink color that I can play with, and I also have a blue color that I can use. For the sake of time, I'll choose a light pink and a light blue as my color scheme. So now I'm going to go through and find all these places where I have solid blocks of brown color, and I'll change them to my new color scheme. I'm going to make the bigger blocks a light blue, and these line blocks the light pink. What's nice about Canva is that it will show you not only the colors that are in your document, such as colored elements, but also colors that are in your photos. Once you have photos in your document, you'll see a section that says Photo Colors, and we can go ahead and click on it, and it shows all the different colors that are found in each photo. Here, I can choose a shade of pink that I like, as well as a blue. So I'll make sure that my line is selected, and I'll change the color to this pink. Now it's part of my document colors, since this line is an element, And when I go to change the other lines, it'll appear right here in my document colors section. So we'll go ahead and go through and do that for all the rest of the lines. Then we'll select the block at the top and we'll use that same process to change it to a light blue. We'll go up here, we'll choose the photo colors, and let's go ahead and pick this blue. Now it's a document color, so we can use that to change this block here, just like we did with the pink. And now we'll go ahead and go through and we'll change some of the smaller elements too, like these quote marks, and we'll go ahead and use that same blue. And there you go. Now the only thing that's left to do is to add your own content to fit your business. Once you have everything fixed and ready to go, you can download your newsletter to start emailing to clients as a PDF, or you can click on more options to share as a link for your clients to view in their browser. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching the newsletter portion of the Advanced Canva series. Happy designing!